Guys, Mumford and Kid here, back again. Welcome back to my comic reviews. Once again, guys, I apologize. Apologize for the lateness. This is gonna be a review of the books that came out last week. I picked up new stuff this week. I gotta finish reading them. But before I start, um, the one thing I should let you guys know is I kind of started something new on my comic review channel. Is something called basically comic pull spotlight, where instead of doing a pick of the week, I take 3 4 books and I spotlight on them, just for them. I do a video just exclusively for them. These are titles that just I felt like really good, or I just feel like people should be talking more about them. And though I have my pull from last week, um, they're gonna you'll see there'll be 3 books will be excluded, and you should go check out the videos that I talked about when I talked about them. So basically, one of them will be is DC from DC, Titans Hunt #1. This will be this is will be not in the poll, will not be reviewed here. uh Back to the Future #1 will not be reviewed, and Vertigo Comics uh, Clean Room by Gail Simone will not be reviewed on this review. If you want to check out those reviews, check out Comic Pull Spotlights. So we're going to talk about the books. I got several books here. Let's see. Got still catching up on a lot of DC, guys. So like I said, for a while you won't see a lot of DC stuff on my reviews because I'm still catching up on a lot of titles. Some, not all, but a lot. But most of them that I have on my pull. But we got two independent, one from Dynamite, one from basically Archie Comics, aka Dark Circle Comics, one from DC, and the rest are from Marvel. So let's kick it off with Marvel. And we go to the world's greatest superhero. This guy, Amazing Spider-Man #2. Loving the Alex Ross covers. Loving them. Uh, gonna admit this once again. Dan Slott is trying. He is trying to make this work, or make this, give it a feel like, okay, he's trying. Now, this is not me saying I'm jumping on Dale Slott's bandwagon, like, yeah, he should stay on Spider-Man. No, because I still stand by my opinion of he needs to get off of Spider-Man. But however, I will admit he's trying with this. And in this issue, we get to see Peter going off to find the Zodiac. He heads to one of the Zodiac's underwater bases because he's trying to get back to what they stole from him. Him, and as always, it's great to see the partnership and friendship between Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, and Hobie Brown, aka the Prowler. The Prowler's new costume, or if that was his new costume, I liked it. It was a good design. I think people forget that when you say Spider-Man, you say who are the heroes in the superhero community are his great friends, best friend. 2 people mostly come to mind: Johnny Storm, Daredevil. Hobie Brown is in there too, and we get to see that. It's so funny to see them together. Um, the concept of them finding, the underwater, one of the underwater headquarters of the Zodiac was cool. Um, I found it really interesting that none of the Zodiac knew who the Prowler was. I was like, really? Like, whoa. We also get a sense. We also get to know a little bit about what maybe what's up with Peter's suit? Why is this embryo? Why does it glow and his eyes glow? His suit is actually bulletproof now, and I found that kind of like really just kind of convenient, like because we all know Spidey can dodge bullets. That dude can dodge bullets. But for some reason, just for some little bit of deception, it was written that, he was like, okay, bulletproof spider suit, see if it works. Ping. Whew, thank you, it works. And I'm like, okay. That concept of them trying to get back the webware that Zodiac was, I was okay. However, I will give Slott credit once again of showcasing that this is not a reboot. This is just continuing what's been going on. And there's something at the end of the issue that I won't ruin, but it had me intrigued. So for this, Mr. Slott, you are trying. Okay. Next up, the astonishing Ant-Man #1. Nick Spencer. First of all, the Mark Brooks covers are beautiful. So this was very interesting because it's taken place in the past and then it goes present. And the present, which I won't spoil, was like, what the fuck? What? But there's some things I have to spoil. First, Cassie is alive and she survived her surgery after what happened with the previous issue. However, it's acknowledged in here that the PIM particles, I'm sorry about that glare, the PIM particles that were in her system are no longer there. So no indication of maybe seeing Stature once again. Damn. Anyway, we get to see, but Cassie is also starting to showcase some hate for her father, and that was like, whoa, really? Wow. It was good to see. But the one thing I also have to admit about what else has been going on, is Nick Spencer bringing back a lot of characters, old school characters that I have not seen in Marvel Comics in a long time. One of them, Whirlwind. When's the last time we saw Whirlwind? The other one blew my fucking mind. The fucking Power Broker. I was like, the power. Holy shit. When's the last time we saw the Power Broker? The same dude that has given many villains in the Marvel Universe their superpowers. I was like, holy crap. However, it's the ending that really just, it's like, double take. What? Not gonna ruin what that was. But, oh my god, this was good. Nick Spencer does a great job writing Scott Lang. But I must say, I really wished, you know, what happened to Cassie didn't happen. No Stature. Damn. Invincible Iron Man #2. Bendis, Marquez. Once again, Marquez's artwork is beautiful. Bendis continues to write this new Iron Man. Now, what happened in the last issue was that Whitney Frost, basically, Lady Mask, Madame Mask, is basically has been going around robbing, taking artifacts, magical artifacts. And she ended up in Latveria stealing some from Castle Doom. Latveria has changed a lot. A lot of rebels now. It's getting kind of crazy out there. And what makes it even more interesting, is when Tony arrives there. He is greeted by a man, a well-dressed man, and he says his name. His name, Victor Von Doom. When's the last time we saw Victor Von Doom, my favorite villain of all time, in a suit? Somebody tell me. Never. Yeah. Tony arrives and he is looking at this man and he's like, that can't be Doom. He uses his armor to check the DNA and everything like that. And this guy's even saying stuff like, we went back in time and into colonial times, and and Tony's like, yeah, and you nearly left me back there. And Tony's just really, he's like, this can't be Doom. What happened to your face? Like, Doom's face is completely healed. The horrible scars that were unclearable are cleaned up. And what does Tony do? Sometimes Tony, as always, kind of jumps the gun and attacks Doom. And he thinks Doom defenseless. But he be wrong, because Doom is never defenseless. He puts up just a little hand signal like this, and a defense spell comes up. Remember, Dr. Doom is well versed in the dark arts and the mystic arts. So we get to see him just do that. And this is a little different Doom. He's saying like he doesn't want to rule. He doesn't rule that very anymore. He doesn't want to rule anymore. It's just really interesting. Finds out that Doom actually has his own version of the Wand of Watum. I'm like, what? And that ending with Madame Mask and Tony. Bendis, where are you going with that? Iron Man #2. Very much enjoyed. Invincible Iron Man #2. Or should I say Invincible Iron Man number 500. What is it? 550 something like that. It should be in the 500s. It's in the 500s. Marvel in their damn renumber. Next up, Karnak. #1. Warren Ellis does the writing. This came close to being on the spotlight. I was gonna put this in the spotlight too, but wow, Ellis, Mr. Ellis, wow, you've taken my favorite of the Inhuman, the royal family, and you have now turned him into a cold, almost uncaring former self of a man. Karnak now lives in this tower called the Tower of Wisdom with some of his other followers. That he's like a teacher now, but he has this really cold demeanor now. Like, he doesn't really care too much about life. He realized that because it's acknowledged that he did die, but he'd come back. Phil Coulson comes to see him and says, "We need your help." So him and Simmons come, and it's not really custom to smile at Karnak, because he kind of takes that as a sense of disrespect of who he is. They call him the Magister now, Magister Karnak. And man, we see Karnak just do what Karnak is known. He can find the weakness in anything. And what he does when he's interrogating this guy, scary as fuck, because this is Karnak we're talking about. I wouldn't want this guy touching me anywhere. So now it's a race to find, because he's helping S.H.I.E.L.D. with finding this missing boy who happens to be Inhuman himself. It is very interesting to see where Karnak is going. And Ellis does such a good job of just showcasing that Karnak is not the same Karnak that we know from the past. He's changed, and you could tell death has really did something to him. but this was really good. Karnak, number 1. Uncanny Inhumans, number 1. Charles Soule. Mr. McGivens, your artwork. Molto bene. This was good too. We get to see that, first of all, I applaud you, Mr. Soule, for using Kang the Conqueror. It seems like Kang is going to be a major antagonist obstacle in this series once again. The last time we saw Charles Soule write this was issue 0, and then the whole Secret Wars happened, and we didn't know what was going on. And in this, now we get our first issue. Don't want to spoil too much, but Black Bolt is still looking for his son. Him and Medusa's son, his heir. He takes Triton and this guy right here who's known as Reader. Reader is blind. He's a blind Inhuman, but when he touches you, he can either open portals up, and he can actually see through that character's eyes. And he also has a cool dog that follows him around. On the other side of the track, you have Queen Medusa and some of the new Inhumans battling the Chitauri again. They're really starting to put the emphasis on the Chitauri now in this. And she comes on and says that, we're going to help no matter what. And, some of the reporters like, but this is not your home, the Inhumans. And she says, no, that's not true. It is our home, and, we're going to do whatever we have to protect our home. Saying that Inhumans are human. Our ancestors just experimented on by the Kree, keeping everything still intact, the history. And we get to see Medusa has a lot on her plate. She's got to be here, she's got to be here, here, and she's like, okay, set up a meeting here. I'll meet this guy. I'll come on his show but if this person's on here, no, I'm not going. And then we get to see kind of what Beast has to do with this, and I just hope this really doesn't really build up to the fact of, the mutants against the Inhumans, which I don't want. And also, we get a little bit more of what Beast saw from what Dick Summers has been saying about the Inhumans. So Dick Summers is still being a dick in this, in the world. And also we get to see more of the Johnny and Medusa relationship. And oh man, what happens when Johnny and Medusa are kissing, when they're playing tonsil hockey with each other? Who happens to pop up? And that was good. The other story is about, there's another story in here that's going on about Gorgon. He's looking for his son. And man, Marvel is really putting a twist with the royal family. Gorgon is now in a wheelchair. This is Gorgon, the man who can stomp his foot and make seismic quakes. We do get to see Crystal. It's always good to see Crystal, and she's worried about her cousin. But other than that, that story was really interesting too. But overall, Uncanny Inhumans was decent, good. I'm looking forward to seeing more. Charles Soule, you did a good job. I'm still looking forward to seeing when you take over The Man Without Fear. But this was good. Next up, we move on to DC. And like I said, still playing catch up with DC. Like I said, some books, not all, but still playing catch up. But in this issue of Batman and Robin Eternals #3, Tillian and Snyder, Seedley does the artwork, and Petler does it too. I think there's a lot of difference. Once again, this is just feeling like a Bat Family book, which I'm liking. Dick and Tim arrive in time before Jason has to maybe put a bullet in Cassandra. And we get to see that Cassandra, she can't really talk. They keep that. And they kind of go on to say her mind is like a child. They take Harper back to the Batcave and nurse her up pretty well. And they're still trying to put two and two together. What is really going on? Why are why is this group targeting us and things like that? And we get more flashback of what happened between Dick and Bruce during a take trying to dig with the Scarecrow, and Dick got uh, impacted by the Scarecrow toxin and made him see Bruce telling you you're a failure, things like that. And but it's the ending that really caught my eye of what could go down for the new improved Bruce Wayne. That right there was good, but it was good. Next up, we move on to Archie Comics, aka Dark Circle Comics. Dark Circle is Archie Comics' like more mature side for superheroes and things like that, and that's none other than the Shield #1. This was good. I very much enjoyed this. Mr. Christopher and Wendig does the artwork. This is the first part of the Daughter of Revolution. Basically, what they're saying, implying with this new version of the Shield, is that she's kind of a resurrection of the spirit of the first is in her, or so feels like resurrection. Um, she doesn't know who to trust. Does she trust this cop? Who are these? The feds want her, things like that, and she's remembering a lot of her story. She remembers who she was. She remembers even when she died. It's like, wow. But this was pretty dang good. Um, Not really much to say. I do recommend it. The shield is just this shield is very badass because um, just the stuff that she does in this is just like, ouch, damn. You know what I mean? But the shield #1, this was good. And we're gonna end this, guys, with Dynamite, and this is a series I've been keeping up with, even during my 5-month hiatus. Like I said, there were still some books I was keeping up with Marvel, and there were some indies, and of course. But Will Eisner's baby, beloved character, the Spirit, #4. Matt Wagner does a great job writing this. Still continuing the story arc of who killed the Spirit. Word of advice, he's not really dead. This was great because you're getting to see a lot of classic villains of the Spirit's Rose Gout. One in particular, the femme fatale villainess, uh, Pigel, who's always been trying to romantically get the Spirit to join the life of crime. Ebony White, one of the close friends of Spirit, and his partner Sammy are trying to find out what happened to the Spirit. When did you see him? Things like that. And Pigel is telling the story, and they're not really buying it because of who she is. She's had 6 husbands over her past, and her is pretty much they die, she gets their money, blah blah blah. And we get to see a tale of that. But the Spirit is talking to Commissioner Dolan. He leaves a very heartwarming note to Ellie Dolan, and this is just really good. But yeah, the Spirit's alive, guys. He's not dead. But it's the ending that really caught my eye because Ebony and Sammy know that there's only one other villain they can think of that probably could be able to kill the spirit, and that is none other than the octopus. Ooh, good stuff, Mr. Wagner. Very much enjoyed this. Do yourselves a favor. If you are a fan of Will Eisner's beloved character, the Spirit, his baby, you'll enjoy this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This was a great move for Dynamite. Spirit deserves to be here, then be on DC. That's all I can say. Well, guys, that is it. That was all the books I got for last week. Once again, got to get to reading this week's books, and I should be have that done soon. But other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. I'll get you guys on Flip Flop. As always, this is the I'm the Geek High Lord of New York. Bid you adieu. Quote the Raven. Nevermore. Nevermore. I'll see you guys around.